Yes, boys, so this is going to be a video on how I took a creator from $3,000 to $30,000 plus dollars within 50 days. So let's get straight into it. Here's just some little proof. She was doing $3,600 in February, and then we took it all the way to $30,000 in April. And the date today is the 28th of April. So she might even push on to do 34K, 35K, hopefully. So yeah. Now, this was not with Instagram. So a lot of my accounts that I've scaled within the past, they've always been through mainly Instagram. But this time round, the Instagram of this creator's page actually got banned within the first 7 days into April. So the first 7 days into April going super well. The Instagram was going well, and then the ban wave came around. We actually had a link me in the bio, so I ended up getting banned. So I was like, wasn't too stressed about it because we have other traffic sources, what we're picking up momentum and doing super, super well, which I'm going to mention in the video. But yeah, I just want to clarify that this wasn't actually with Instagram, it was hardly with Instagram. Instagram actually was doing well the first 7 days, and then it's actually just started to pick up only just now, which is the 28th of April. So this was not with IG. Another point is this was not with some crazy guy who spent like 20K on the account. Um, this was actually with real scalability. It was with multiple subscribers spending. It was with the chatting team not relying on one single subscriber to spend. The traffic from other systems helped us basically drain multiple guys at once. So overall, it was good growth. And instead of one guy splashing $20,000 and making it look like I just scaled the account, it was multiple subscribers spending. It was a real good growth scalability of the account. Super, super well. So the traffic was A tier. The traffic was super, super good. Um, on April the 20th to April 21st, we actually got 1,000 subscribers in 24 hours, which is super, super good for this creator. She never had that before. So the traffic was super, super good. That's what made this account do super well. Um, it was a combination of good chatting and the traffic, but I would say it was around about 67%, 70% of just amazing traffic. It just worked super, super well from the other traffic systems we had. Now I'm going to show you what other traffic systems we had, but it just comes to show like when you have your traffic amazing and you double down on it, the account's always going to scale. So yeah. So first and foremost was Reddit. So Reddit was super, super good. I've always ran Reddit. It's super, super easy. You can get a VA on the account. But with Reddit, what I see a lot of people do, which is a big mistake, is they will post within the same subreddits for like 6 months. So the method that I do on subreddit is first and foremost, you need to find a niche, of course. So let's say your creator is within the goth niche, and you post a Reddit post in within a subreddit, and it gets 400 upvotes in a subreddit. You're gonna think, right, fuck, that subreddit's amazing. I'm gonna post in here every single time now, right? So a pattern that I found what was really, really good is you want to post within that subreddit for 2 weeks, and then you want to stop posting there and want to find another subreddit that does well. And the reason for this is you're going to actually rinse out the subreddit. You're going to rinse it out to the point where you've got basically every guy that goes onto that subreddit has already subscribed to your page. So the best method that I found is find a good subreddit, what's doing very, very well, post within there for 2 to 3 weeks. So find like maybe 2 to 3 subreddits that are working well. So working like handfuls of subreddits, and when it's working very, very well, posting them 2 to 3 subreddits for 2 weeks, and then stop posting them there for a month. And after that month, you start posting. Come back to it a month later. So let me try and explain that a little bit more simple. It's quite complicated. So let's say you start posting on April the 1st, right? On April the 14th, stop posting within them subreddits, and then on May the 14th, go back to them subreddits because within a month's time, new people are going to join, new people are going to find the subreddit. So this has always been a very, very good method for me instead of rinsing the same fucking subreddit, because I found that when I was rinsing the same subreddit, it's never like a stagnant scaling. It's always, it goes up and then it goes down because you're just posting in the same subreddit and every single guy is seeing you every single day. So you need to find multiple subreddits and not rinse them. If you use that method of posting for 2 weeks and then coming back a month later, it's going to work super, super well. Trust me on that. So yeah, always switch. And then second of all, you need to find a good niche. So you can't just have a model and post in basics or Reddits. You need to really niche your model, like really niche it. It's going to work super, super well. And then obviously have the OF for free. We use free trials for this. It was a free trial page. So we also CTA'd on the Reddit page for better CVR. So don't just post on Reddit and have the OF in the bio and expect people to subscribe. Make a post on your Reddit page, pin it to the page saying that the OF is free, because this is like a good call to action for overall to improve conversion rates. So don't just be the guy who's posting on Reddit when you can just have a simple call to action which can improve your CVR massively. So yeah, Reddit was fucking good. Second one was Twitter. So Twitter can be good. I was a guy who never really made good progression on Twitter, but within these past 2 to 4 months, I want to say, I've really used Twitter as a decent traffic source. Twitter can be good. The only downside to Twitter is the fact that the subs are lower quality compared to Reddit. So you're not going to have huge spenders, but overall, it's a very good traffic system. I wouldn't turn a blind eye to it. Now, don't be the guy who just tweets like, oh, like you just tweet a picture on Twitter, right? And you just put as the caption, comment hey for a tit pic or comment hey for a ass pic. Like, bro, that stuff does not work. It's not going to work. It's not going to get you subscribers. Don't do it. Now, don't post too much nude either, as that can actually lower the sub quality overall. So I see a lot of guys who are blown up on Twitter, right? And I made this mistake around about 4 months ago on a certain page. I see guys who are posting on Twitter and they're getting loads of views, right? Loads of views, loads of followers, but I'm looking at that and thinking, right, you're probably not getting good sub quality right there. So this is why I talk about the grey area. You need to kind of post, pictures or videos of your creator where it's not complete nude, but it's also not too SFW to the point where it would get banned on Instagram. So you need to find a grey area of what's not full nude and what's not NSFW, but also something that would get banned on Instagram. Once you find that grey area, you've hit the golden spot of X, because you're blowing up an X because it is pretty much a pornographic fucking app. And also, you're not lowering the sub quality. It's still guys who are wanting to see much more of the creator, so they'll end up subscribing to the OnlyFans. So when you find that grey area, rinse the fuck out of it, because it's going to work super, super well. Okay, the next one is TikTok Live. Now, I've been doing TikTok Live ever since I started OFM, and it still works to this day. You just got to kind of switch it up. So with TikTok, you've got to be super, super safe. Now, I'm talking like safe as fuck, to the point where you can't wear anything too revealing. I don't even wear a... Some of my creators, the creator this specifically, just wore a hoodie on the TikTok Live. So you want to be super, super safe. You also want to CTA the Instagram whilst on live. So whilst the creator's on live on TikTok, you want to always be calling to action the Instagram. This way they're going to subscribe. Now, what worked well for us on TikTok Lives was having something eye-catching and pretty much weird that will make the guys click and ask questions on the live. Now, when I say that, I don't mean get a fucking dildo and put it on TikTok Live, because that's going to get you banned. But just have something maybe in the background or on the side that's going to make people click the live and think, what the fuck is that? Like, what is that doing there? Why is that there? It works super, super well. And then that can be like a whole fucking brand and niche around your creator, of your creator having that certain thing on the live. Try it out. It's quite some good sauce. Think of something yourself. Be creative with it. It's most likely going to work, because it's just super eye-catching and it makes guys click the live and ask questions. And overall, if your model is, calling the IG out whilst 400 to 600 people on the live, you're going to get conversions, you're going to get subscribers. Now, the next point is the chatting team. So there's quite a few things to go over here. Personally, for me, I think with the traffic that we got, I could have made more money, but it's completely fine. We can just look at what we did and go for 50, 60k in May. But a lot of you guys, right, you're getting very good traffic, but you're not actually really dabbling into your back end team. Like, you're not actually looking at your back end team, and it's literally the most important thing within OFM. You know, you're going to need real systems, and you need real standard operating procedures. You know, you can't just have your chatters log on, chat, and then clock out. That's not how it works, bro. You know, you're not going to see real growth with this because you're just going to end up shouting at your chatters. You know, you're going to say, oh, why have you done low today? But then when they've done good, you'll tell them well done. Like, this is not how you operate as a fucking manager. So put real systems in place, have real SOPs within place. Another point was I was speaking daily with my chatting manager. Now, if you don't have a chatting manager, it's super, super crucial. I'm already guessing most of you already do. If you don't, it's super crucial. Now, I've had people say, oh, how do I find a chatting manager, bro? So what I did was, the current manager that I've got now, was he was actually the best performing chatter on my team. So I just basically upgraded him to a manager role where he takes a percentage of all the agency's revenue, and I'll just set him tasks basically daily. So you need a chat manager because he's going to be able to take place and do tasks that are way too much time for you when you need to focus on the traffic systems. So that's a very important point. Speaking daily with the manager, setting him tasks, and making sure everything's up to date. Another point was rotating chatters. So this is actually quite common than you'd believe. There's a lot of guys out there who just have free chatters on their page and they'll chat every single day. Your chatters are going to get burnt out from this, bro. And you might not say they will, but they will get burnt out. Now, with these chatters, especially ones from Philippines, they're okay with working 7 days a week. But to be honest, it's not very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not doable, bro, if you want to scale to these big numbers because your chatter does need rest days. You know, like as a manager yourself, you need a rest day yourself, right? So they need resets, they need mental resets, physical resets, whatever it is. So rotating your chatters around, maybe having one rotator, two rotator chatters, it's super super good. And then your chatters can then basically just pick a day off where the rotator chatter can just hop in. And also, it's just good to have these within the team when something bad goes wrong. I'm sure if you know something goes wrong with your chatter, maybe it's like a power cut or they're feeling sick. You know, you need a rotator chatter straight away there just to hop in instead of going to like a Telegram group chat and trying to recruit one straight away. It's just a fucking mess. So have rotator chatters, and then also with the rotator chatters, your manager can just basically train these guys. So when you're recruiting chatters to your chatting team, your chatting manager is basically going to go over all the SOPs, all the systems, and they can basically just train these brand new chatters who are going to come into the team. Next point is KPIs were set. So there was targets set every single day, which we were smashing every single day. And this comes in, kind of crosses into the next point. So when a KPI is hit on a certain model or across all models, the team's going to get a bonus. The manager's going to get a bonus. The chatter's going to get bonuses. So this motivated everyone overall. And we were smashing all the KPIs, that to the point where I was setting basically new KPIs every single week on this certain creator because the team was just fucking smashing it. Now this goes on to another point where you need penalties within the team also. So if you've just got like a chatting team, right, and they do something wrong, and you just shout at that team, this isn't good, bro. Like, imagine if you was employed at a professional company or whatever, right, and when you do something wrong, your boss just walks in and goes, yo, you're fucking shit, what the fuck are you doing, blah, 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 blah. Bro, you're not going to want to go and work the next day. Or if the boss just simply says, okay, bro, like, -$4 on your, or like a minus salary, you're going to think, fuck, I don't want to do that again. Just calm, collective, have penalties, have bonuses. It's professional. You don't need to be emotional and shout at your chatters unless they've done something obviously extremely wrong. But if you just have penalties in place and bonuses in place, your chatters aren't going to get out of hand, and it's going to be a very systemized, very good team. Another good point was we was checking the unlock rate and response times. So when you're using Inflow, you can go into employee reports and you can check the unlock rate and response times. This was super, super good because we was keeping up to date with which chatter was performing well, which chatter wasn't, which chatter had good unlock rates, or which chatters had response rates, and it basically just gave the manager an overall plan of what to teach these chatters and how to do better. Another point is we had a plug and play scripts in place. So this is super crucial. You need your plug and play scripts in place. If your chatters are just basically freestyling an account, going into the vault, picking a photo or video, sending it, and it's just so time consuming, especially if you're bringing in 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers every single day. Bro, if you've not got plug and play scripts, you are quite literally missing out on money because your chatter can't chat on the account. And if you just think, oh, well, I'll just get 2 chatters on the account, right? Because we're getting more traffic. No, bro. One chatter can quite easily, deal with high traffic if they've got plug and play scripts and sequences in place. So that is quite literally needed. If you go to Messages Pro and Inflow, it's going to have the scripts option. You can use sequences and scripts. Your chatter can use this, and all he's doing at the end of the day is just clicking buttons. He might have to type here and there to certain questions and freestyle here and there, but with the main revenue, it's mainly with the plug and play scripts that your manager can just build out. So, constant training on the chatters. This is super fucking important. If you, like I said before, when your chatter does something wrong, you don't just fucking shout at them and tell them not to do it again. You need to actually physically show them what they've done wrong. Take a screenshot of the chat, analyze the chat, say what they've done wrong, and tell them what to do instead. Now, I don't personally do this anymore because my manager has this set in place. He'll be training the chatters every single day within a certain group. But if you're just letting your chatters clock into shift, chat by themselves, clock out, and you're not actually analysing what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, then you are never going to scale as an agency. You really need to analyse what they're doing. This is why it's so good to have a manager. But if you're working at a lower scale right now, then just analyse yourself, bro. It's a business at the end of the day. You need to see where they've done correct. So let's say they've drained a subscriber. You can screenshot the chat and say, you've done well here, done well here. Maybe you could have done this here, could have done this here. I had a chatter drain $2,000 from a subscriber, and I wasn't even happy how he chatted because he could have easily got 4,000, 6,000 from the guy. So you need to see where they've done well, see where they've done wrong, screenshot it, examine what they've done right, examine what they've done wrong, and also just tell them in a group chat what to do next time. This is going to help 1,000,000%. Trust me on that. And then for the last point was the content. So the content helped a lot. You need the correct lighting, you need the correct angles, you need the correct background and location depending on the script. Different locations for different scripts and different outfits for different scripts, and then just good scripts overall. So you can't just have content within the vault, right? Within like a couple of pics, different type of outfits, because it's not going to feel real for the subscriber. So if you make it like a real script, like it's live, like it's just been done, the guy's just gonna want to keep spending. So if you just got like maybe some tip pics, stripping videos, like in different outfits, bro, it's so like uncoordinated. It's not gonna give the guy an emotional feel to want to spend more. So you need to really script your content. So start off slow, build it up and up and up and up and up, and this way the guy's just gonna want to spend more and more and more and more. So don't just be that fucking manager who, sells content that's just uncoordinated, not scripted together, because you're just basically missing out on a fuck ton of revenue. So yeah, that is basically it from how I took a creator from $3,000 to $30,000 in around about 50 days. For me to keep it super simple with you, I kind of just doubled down on what worked. And it wasn't with Instagram either. So Instagram isn't the be all of OFM. Yes, it's the most powerful. Yes, it's the most powerful traffic system I use to this day. But it just comes to show, if you have the right systems in place, if you know how to operate traffic systems correctly, if your chatting team is super locked in, you can basically scale any creator within 50 days. So yeah, that's basically it for the video, boys. I'm going to try and post a lot more, hopefully once a week, 4 videos a month. So comment down below or join the Telegram and just give me any recommendations of what more videos you'd like to see.